having, you know, I'm not getting them perfectly by any stretch, but I'm not having to think as hard as I did before. And I'm able to see like every single workout I can go up a little bit, whether it's weight or reps or something. So that's just cool. That's been fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome that you're progressing in at least something, either weight or reps. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Angela told me that you're just getting more, I guess, you're feeling more comfortable at the gym, which is, to me, the most important part. But the fact you're getting stronger is also quite awesome. Nice. Angela, how was your week? How was your lifting? Can you hear us, Angela?
Can you hear me?
Yes. We could hear you there for a second. Could not hear if you said anything for the last couple seconds.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, can hear you now. Yes.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, so I've just been saying the week's been going good. Workouts have been going good. Just been really busy, but glad to make it to the gym despite all the work.
Nice. Any PRs or any other fun things?
So I just got back from that trip to see my parents. So I'm actually like, it's like kind of like a deload, you know, like just getting back into it.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm in the same place almost. I'm going on vacation on Thursday. I'm finally going to see my family, my parents, and I've been messing around in the gym without any particular program for the first time since last year. It's so confusing. I like come and I'm excited because I can't do anything, and then I don't know what to do, like a kid in a candy shop. I'm like, I want to try the things that I usually can't because of the program. So yeah, I just like do handstands, and I tried strongman stuff. I tried sled pushes, sled pulls. I may do yoke today. I want to throw some sand bags. So yeah. Cool. Hey, Joshua.
Heyo.
I hope your weekend was good. I saw some photos partying by the pool and celebrating.
Celebrate absolutely.
Did you celebrate your PRs?
I did, yeah. We were celebrating the huge leap and and some of those lifts.
Nice. We were just talking about the wins of the week. So you are pretty much the star today because you've got a lot of PRs. And I was wondering if you want to tell us how you feel. Tell us how you feel about your form. Tell us how you feel about the lifts.
Good. Yeah, the lift felt in the video. I really need to, like you said, I need to get some equipment like the straps and belt too. But I think the form was a lot better, and
it was
good. I think I'm not sure what I feel like I shouldn't have jumped that high in like some of the lifts. I feel like maybe I'm not sure what was going on with that first one that we did, you and I, but maybe I just wasn't. I'm not sure because the weight seemed like I'm not sure how much you're supposed to usually go up in that sort of span of time. But I feel like a month wasn't a lot of time. But yeah.
You're saying you feel like you shouldn't have jumped that high now, shooting for PRs, or before?
Well, I just mean the numbers from last time to this time, they seem like a huge amount. I don't know if that's.
I will tell you why. They seem like a huge amount, probably because you sent me the videos and I posted them, and I was like, actually, you kind of did 285 bench with just like a teeny tiny bit of help. So
yeah,
you probably I would comfortably say had I don't know, maybe 40 pounds less of a total added. It's still a big progress, but the main progress was in your confidence and your form, and the fact that you kept the strength or increased it while losing body fat. So it does seem like 130 pounds per like during the month is not really what you can feasibly add. So you probably could do that before, but now it's just because you've been lifting more consistently and had a steady program, you actually could shoot for those numbers comfortably. You probably could have done it before with not such great form, but that's kind of not the point.
Yeah, I feel like the squat is the biggest thing that I had a problem with form before. But just like where to look and where to have the bar, I feel like I've always had the bar pretty high up on my neck normally, so maybe that helps a lot.
And some lifters do that. Some lifters, like I'm reading this book. Oh, where is it? 1 second. There it is. I'm reading this book right now. It's like a super retro collector's item. Maybe you've seen it on my Instagram. It's called Inside Powerlifting by Terry Todd. So here you see very famous old school athletes just who have kind of built the sport. And some of them would just do really weird things like this guy. He put the bar very high onto his neck. Is it optimal? No. But the story of this guy is he fell off a tree at the age of, I think 6 or 7, tore off his arm completely. They restitched it back onto his body, and he became a champion powerlifter. I don't think you could do it otherwise. Yeah, so his name is Ricky, maybe you've heard of him. Marvin Phillips, I think. And Ricky, I forgot his last name. Yeah, but regardless, like people could do crazy things, and some of them did not abide by all of the, perfect form laws. So you can make some exceptions as long as you don't injure yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
How has been flexibility and mobility work with your shoulders and upper chest? Did you use that ball to roll your chest?
Yeah, I've been doing that, trying to open up the chest a little bit more so that I can actually pull back more, like with flat pull downs and whatnot.
Nice. Awesome. I'm glad to hear about that. Okay, well, if more people show up, they can boast about whatever they did this week later. And I think it's time for me to share the screen and show y'all whatever I've been getting ready today. So somehow intermittent fasting comes up more and more often, even though I feel like it's such an old topic. Everybody should already know that it's not a magic thing that's going to bring you huge anabolism and just solve all of your problems. Okay, I don't know how to adjust the screen. There you go. Can you see the slides? Thumbs up. Yay. All right. Great. So anyways, got a friend yesterday who is trying to gain muscle. He's an ectomorph. He's pretty skinny. And he refused to have breakfast. We were going out to get breakfast and he refused to get breakfast. And I was like, why? That's weird. And he was like, yeah, I don't eat until noon. Okay, no brunch, no breakfast. Great. And then I start kind of asking why, because dude is skinny, he's trying to gain muscle, right? Most people who try intermittent fasting are trying to lose weight, trying to lose the fat. I do find some people, who are trying to gain muscle doing it for convenience, but I was just confused, right? So I started asking some questions. In the presentation, I'm trying to answer most of the arguments for, in case you ever want to consider it. So number one is it increases growth hormone. The news is that growth hormone in and of itself is not anabolic. There's a lot of studies that do review the muscular cross-section before and after you've had more growth hormone in your body, and it doesn't increase. Sorry. So that's great. That increases growth hormone, but you know what else increases growth hormone? Working out. Being in slight calorie surplus. There's a lot of things that increase it, right? Second thing is autophagy. Who has heard this word? I'm curious. Thumbs up or put a plus in the chat. Lisa's confused. Yeah. I was also confused, thinking, why is that? Oh, Tyler, hey. I'm curious, Tyler, what have you heard about autophagy? If you want to turn on the mic.
Hey guys, so basically I studied biology and it was my major. So
Okay.
it was part of what I had to learn, especially while learning about immunization, the immunology studies, and it's kind of curious on my end to see how it's actually affiliated with nutrition, because I haven't really actually thought about that part specifically. All in all, it kind of does make sense though, because naturally, as you think about it, it does as the slide does point out, it does it does allow the orderly degradation and recycling of the cellular components. And naturally, I think it makes sense because calorie restriction leads to fewer amounts of ATP being used in the body, as in the body using the energy. So ideally it makes sense, although I would love to read a little bit more reference if possible on that sense, because it kind of piques my interest as well on that point.
Okay, sorry, you speak in very high level scientific words. Can you translate into human language what you just said? What have you heard about autophagy in school, and why is it important?
The knowledge itself predates a little bit far back in terms of how much I remember, but basically body needs energy, right? And calorie restriction leads to lower amounts of energy being produced that the bodies can use, and naturally bodies try to preserve that when energy is low, and it does trigger some immune responses, which I believe leads to the slide that the knowledge that slide's trying to talk about. Although I might have to do a little bit more research. That was just based on my educated guess, based on what I've learned so far. But it does make sense now that if you actually think about it. So
I was just trying to ask why autophagy is important, because I'm not really sure why autophagy from fasting is considered important by people, right? So in a nutshell, autophagy means your body getting rid of metabolic byproducts, right? On a cell level. However, you don't have to just fast to achieve it. You can increase your metabolism in many ways, such as losing body fat, going for a walk, doing low intensity steady state cardio, doing slight caloric restriction per day. So there is many ways to increase it, and fasting in and of itself is not the king of autophagy if that's your goal. If you really want to quote unquote detox, I think it's a fancy word for detox, or get rid of free radicals. Okay, great, wonderful. When people tell me they want to detox, I usually ask them, what chemical or evil compound or whatever the names they use, pathogen, are you trying to detox from? And then there's usually silence, and people get thinking, and they're like, yeah, actually, which one is what am I trying to get out of my body? Like, have I gotten a mercury poisoning? No, I'm just living my life. So why do you need detox? Why do you need autophagy today? Anyways, next slide. I don't want to get you guys too bored. People believe fast increases anabolism. There's a lot of other things that do increase anabolism, such as spreading your protein consumption throughout the day, working out, right? Doing low intensity steady state cardio to recover. If you have more body fat to lose, you can increase the amounts of cardio that you do and vary the types of cardio to the ones that you enjoy. You don't need to do only low intensity, only moderate, only high intensity. Depending on your program, you could do a mix of such, as long as you recover and enjoy them. I think that's the most important part. But if you are skinny and you have a hard time putting on muscle, or if you're worried that when you quote unquote bulk, you're going to put on the muscle and the fat together with the muscle, try to spread your protein consumption throughout the day. If you don't like to eat breakfast for whatever other reason, not fasting, right? If you just don't want to. If you happen to eat 2 meals a day, try to take a scoop of protein when you wake up to have something in your stomach, right? It depends if you're carb sensitive or fat sensitive, whether it'll be more useful for you taking a scoop of protein with some peanut butter or a scoop of protein with like a banana. But that's a quick thing you can just put in your stomach before you're out the door if you don't have time in the morning. Same thing in the evening. Some of my clients who don't eat enough fat, they would eat like some protein, drink some protein, and have a tablespoon of peanut butter. You know, quick and easy, and you don't need to cook it. Nuts have fiber. You can have nuts. Depends. I usually recommend protein with some carbs, but for some people, they just power through it and their body doesn't hold any of it. So it is harder to put on muscle than shred fat, unlike what most people think. So just the basic thing I think we've talked about a couple of weeks ago is spreading your protein, have something, don't run out the door on an empty stomach, have something in the morning, have something in your stomach before going to bed. If you eat all of the protein in one sitting, you're probably just going to poop most of it out and waste the rest of it. Sorry. Just like vitamins. If you have thousands of % of daily value, you're just going to pee it out and create expensive pee. Congratulations. Let's not do that. Fat loss. Obviously, fasting is useful for fat loss, but mainly because it creates a very simple rule for people to stick to, right? If you don't want to count calories, say, I hate counting calories. It just makes me OCD about the grams of food that I eat and drives me nuts. So I don't count calories. Well, how do I try to lean out when I do need to lean out then? I track the trends, and I could do some, I don't know if I could call it fasting. I could do like a type of, I guess, fasting, which for me includes, I just don't eat right away when I wake up. I eat maybe like a couple hours later when I get hungry. So I just try to pay attention to my hunger cues instead. And I try to not eat on an empty stomach when I don't really care that much. Yeah, they might waste a little bit of muscle, but I still break out my meals throughout the day, especially when I'm super lean, like trying to shred for bodybuilding. Then I'm probably going to have a lot less food to eat during the day, right? So I'll have a huge brunch, and I'll have a snack later in the middle of the day, and I'll have a huge dinner, something in between lunch and dinner. That will keep me more full because I have less food to operate with, and I try to wake up later, go to bed earlier so I sleep more. And there's less time for me worrying about food when I'm awake. So I guess you can call that type of fasting, but not because that's magic in and of itself, just because it helps me control my intake. So if fasting helps you control your intake and you typically oversnack or overeat, that's great if it helps you stay consistent, right? But in a nutshell, it all comes to calorie deficit, because according to the first law of thermodynamics, you cannot create or destroy energy. You guys all know it, and I don't think I need to explain this. So some people think fasting helps them lose the fat because they weigh less, say in the morning or after a long fasting bout. If you have less food in your gut, yes, you'll weigh less, and then when you consume food, you'll weigh more. Just because you've been fasting for a while and then went to the bathroom doesn't mean you have less body fat, okay? Let's not confuse the two. So, I'm pretty much done. I was really hoping, let's see who else is here now. Tyler. I was hoping a couple of our new students would show up because they really need to see this. It's because they're asking me about, oh, what can I do today? And all I'm preaching is focus on progress goal versus outcome goals. So have you meal prepped? Have you gone to the gym? Have you done your cardio? Have you done your part? And then not worrying about your body following through and letting your body just do its part. But don't ask a lot of your body. You follow through and be patient, and then see what happens and track as much as possible. So yeah, I'm pretty much done. And we can move to questions.
I actually have a question regarding the nutrition that I actually want to talk about. People, and I'm pretty sure that you're not the only one in terms of eating something before going to bed. And a lot of people have like gastric disturbances that happen overnight just because they couldn't really stomach when they are sleeping, which does make sense because when you go to sleep, you go to sleep. And although your body tends to function, it does in a slower pace to a point that, especially with the gastro and excuse me, the intestinal activities, it will slow down to a point that when you wake up, you'll feel a little bit of disturbance. And oftentimes, me included, a lot of people don't really like that. And I was wondering if you have any suggestions in terms of like curbing them up a little bit and making yourself a little bit more used to going through that and not have any like discomfort in general.
Interesting. I feel like the disturbances could be very different person to person. Like my mom has, I don't know what it's called, when her stomach acidity is higher. Is it acid reflux or what is it called? So see, she essentially, yeah, I think she needs to constantly have something in her stomach, otherwise it starts to like eat itself. So she constantly snacking throughout the day. That helped her. Depends on what you have. I would probably, I'm not a doctor, right? And I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not an RD, so I'd probably ask a doctor or RD, depending on what you have, or I can call you after the call and we can figure something out. So essentially what you're trying to say is you're uncomfortable when there's too much food in your stomach when you are sleeping, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it is not usually helpful for your stomach to try to do two things, digest and sleep. It likes to digest and it doesn't like to fall asleep when you're digesting. So I would probably recommend eating 2-3 hours before bed. That does help with falling asleep, staying asleep, not having any discomfort in your stomach. So food is at least a little bit digested already. It's the same logic as like going to the gym. A lot of people like eat right before the gym and then they go get to the gym, or they eat a banana during the workout. Like, what the fuck are you doing this for? I'm sorry. It is not going to be digested for 2 or 3 hours. Why are you doing this? So with any activities that you do after you eat, unless it's like a shake with water, 1 scoop, or something super tiny, like a date, right? Or something, I don't know, a sugary drink when you're just like absolutely having a meltdown, you need energy now. Unless it's something that quick and that small in volume, then your stomach will need a while to get that sugar into your blood and to digest it. So probably maybe take a little more time before bed to finish your dinner. Don't go to bed on the full stomach. And you can also try to separate eating and drinking. For some people that helps. There's some folks who like to just chase every bite with water. I have found that I felt fuller and I felt more satisfied with foods way back in the day, when I was just, finished my water or whatever I was drinking maybe 10 minutes before the meal, and then I only ate the meal, and then like maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes after meal, I would start drinking whatever I need to drink. I don't really watch that now, but I used to have some gastric problems myself, and that has helped me. So I feel like it's so individual that it's hard to suggest.
Yeah,
Sorry.
in being everybody having different reactions, because people really tend to differ in terms of individual reactions with the eating habits. But it is a good suggestion, really, and I might have to think thoroughly about that too. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Let us know what has worked for you, because I'm sure you're not the only one. And thanks for sharing something. Not a lot of people, I guess, are comfortable sharing. I know I'm not comfortable falling asleep on a full stomach. I don't have any like problems. I just like can't fall asleep. That's my problem.
It also feels like the more the later that I eat, the harder it is for me to eat breakfast, which is really logical in that sense, because your body still is processing what you ate before. So it does make sense on that end. So, right. I really think it's about like going through a little bit of trial and error, which I still am doing a little bit, and finding an optimal eating habit that really works for you, both nutritional wise and fitness wise. So yeah, yep, it's like all part of the process, I guess.
Awesome. Thanks for the question. Josh, anything from you? I know you sometimes cannot eat for long periods of time, so you fast kind of accidentally because of work, right?
Yeah, sort of in a unintentional way.
How is that working out for you?
It's going all right. I think I'm sure that this is like a common knowledge thing, but I feel like what helps me kind of so that I don't sort of in those instances of binge eating, like if I haven't eaten in a long time and I don't want to kind of just like binge eat after I don't eat for a while. I feel like really high amounts of caffeine help me.
Oh boy, high amounts of caffeine. Gotcha.
Yeah, like it's just so that like when I actually do eat, it just kind of really, you know, suppresses my appetite somewhat so that I don't have to like I don't gorge myself when I'm like I haven't eaten in a long time.
Interesting. That's
So you
actually,
think
I didn't put it on the slides. That's another, I guess, con of fasting, right? You think that, oh, you're burning fat, nothing's in your stomach, that's great. And then when it's time to eat, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna binge and eat everything. So,
Wait,
yeah.
Joshua, are you saying that excessive caffeine helps you eat a little bit more throughout the day?
No, it helps me eat less so that when
Yeah.
so like if I have been fasting, when I do finally eat, I'm not just so insanely hungry that I eat way more than I would have if I hadn't fasted.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler has the opposite problem. He doesn't want to eat anymore. So,
I wish I had that problem. I'm constantly wanting to eat everything.
well, be careful on what you say, Joshua, because I mean, I used to be a fat kid. I think some of us have similar experience. We used to be fat and shamed for it and bullied. And now when we're actually fit, we got to the point where it is hard to put on muscle and you are not that hungry. And it's hard to actually eat without stuffing yourself and continue to progress. So
Right.
one thing I could probably recommend to avoid binging and avoid excessive caffeine drinking is start your meal with some fiber. So that can be anything from greens to literally a bag of apples that you have in your car, or any kind of fruit or vegetables. So if you're at a restaurant, first get a salad, just get the salad into you real quick, and then move to whatever the meal that you were going to eat. So that helps you get some volume in your stomach taken by fiber that prepares your digestive system to start digesting everything smoothly, right? That wakes it up. If you just put like fries and steak on an empty stomach, you know, with like oils and maybe some protein than you are, or like bread, you're probably more likely to get constipated if you haven't eaten for a while, haven't drank for a while, right? Haven't hydrated for a while. I don't remember if caffeine is a laxative or the opposite, but
Caffeine is a diuretic, so it does have a laxative effect.
okay, so that's not going to be a problem. I know black tea, if you drink black tea, that will definitely not help with that. It does the opposite. So that can congest you a little bit. So if you drink caffeine from black tea, then that can not help the issue, right? If you then just do like meat, bread, cheese type of things, right? High calorie things. You haven't eaten for a while, you're very hungry. So let's start the meal with some fiber. They'll start your stomach digesting, take up some volume so you don't gorge yourself.
Joshua, also,
Better.
I'm sorry, Katya. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. My 2 cents based on, then again, it's my 2 cents, but based on what you just said, is that you could probably switch from drinking coffee all the time to mixing in coffee with tea, which still gives you some caffeine amount and gives you actually more fluid amount to a point that you won't be hungry enough to binge eat. So that's like my educated guess, but I think you could try incorporating that specifically if that's what your primary concern is about. So
Yeah. That's a good idea.
oh, yeah, that too. That one too. Yep. Sparkling water. Yes.
Another thing, if you feel like, oh my God, coffee, caffeine. This has a lot less caffeine, only 30 milligrams in a cup of coffee. I can't even finish it usually. It's pretty tasty, and I feel like it wakes me up more than coffee. So sometimes I would just drink this, like before going to the gym. It's just sparkling water from any food store. And I feel like I have less caffeine in my body, but I'm more awake. Maybe the bubbles wake me up, or I don't know. and I'm more hydrated because this is closer to water. Coffee, I think, has a neutral hydration like level. It doesn't hydrate you or dehydrate you unless you forget to drink a lot of water because it is a slight diuretic. So
Yeah, those are excellent ideas. I'll probably try both of those. I have been taking to, I feel like I'm eating more apples than like ever in my life recently, just having one, because it not only is it, I mean, great for so many things, but it also takes a while to eat. Like,
yeah, they take a while to eat. Yeah, versus processed foods, you just, quickly shove them in and here's 1,000 calories.
right.
Here's another challenge for you, Josh. You've incorporated fiber, great. Eating a lot of apples. How about you introduce yourself to a new fruit or vegetable every week, or a new fruit and vegetable every week?
Yeah, I'll try that.
Try cooking it or bring it with you. I don't know. Even like I try to do that because there's thousands of fruit and vegetables on this planet. Thousands. And then we choose to eat 3 sad meats and 3 sad starches, right? Like potato, wheat, chicken, beef, help me out, pig, and then
Ham.
maybe something else, and then maybe some dairy. We literally choose to eat these like 5, 6 things. I don't know, maybe 10 things, when we could have eaten a variety of fruit, a variety of berries, a variety of grains and other things. Like, challenge yourself. Introduce some beans, legumes. Introduce some fiber. When I used to travel, some fiber from different sources. When I used to travel more, people would laugh at me because if I forgot my meal prep, I literally would just bring a can of beans that could like open, and I would eat it out of the can with a spoon. First, they're cheap; they're like 80 cents. Second, they have a lot of fiber, and they do have some protein, some carbs. So for me, it was perfect. Make sure your stomach is ready for it, though. If you're gonna start adding beans, legumes, things like that, and you add them 3 times a day, every day this week, you're gonna have fun in the bathroom. So don't do that. Introduce them slowly, maybe once a day, and then notice how you feel. Then a little more.
Right.
We actually need to talk about beans. I feel like we always mention protein sources from like seitan and tofu, and legumes and beans and pulses get neglected, even though they're so delicious and they're so versatile.
So speaking of fiber, what I and then again, this is from someone who wasn't born and was growing up in America. But one thing I really would appreciate if American cuisine could do is to have more fiber.
Yeah.
Essentially, the amount of fiber that's being included in American food is or Western food in general is that it's really minute to a point that it's causing so much trouble.
Yep.
To a lot of people, and like fiber is like a quick fix that can happen, but oftentimes which comes up to another follow-up question. Oftentimes, like, I try to cook as much as possible, but given the fact that I'm working full-time and that goes for pretty much everyone else, it's kind of hard to accommodate an option in which I can sustain myself with high fiber food all the time. So sometimes I often wonder if there's like a better way for me to have a consistent fiber intake while eating out from time to time. And especially if I'm like in a hurry, or if I'm like in a tight schedule in which work is a little bit overloading. And those are like the times when I'm trying to figure out what's gonna be better nutrition wise. So like if you could help throw in any tips, not only for me, but for others as well, would be really helpful. I mean, I know that like eating fruits from time to time, not like time to time, but like once or twice a day really boosts your fiber intake overall. And there's like a lot of other ways as well, but like in like a general organized summary version would be super helpful as well.
You're making such great points, Tyler. I'm making myself much to post about this on IG probably and send it into the newsletter, because this applies to literally everybody. Like, that's the reason why I cook so much, and I probably waste time cutting and chopping vegetables, because I want to have fresh foods, delicious foods, and good nutrition and fiber. And you're right, if you go out, vegan or not, it's gonna have more more fat, more like calorie dense foods with less fiber, right? Because they're
So much less protein. So much less protein. I
so
can't
much
even,
less protein, yeah. So okay,
begin.
one tip that I actually was going to show you when you started talking is there's this website that's called Half Cup Habit. Oh no, it's called pulses.org. But I think the company is called Half Cup Habit. You can subscribe to their newsletter. They have quick and easy recipes from legumes, beans, pulses, veggies. I don't think they're vegan. I think they do everything, but because they focus on beans and pulses, then they are, most of them, I think, are vegetarian or vegan kind of by accident. Anyways, I can send this to the group. I was on their newsletter for almost a year, learned so many things, and made really delicious quick meals. Plus, most beans you can get canned, right? I tried soaking them. I'm not good at this stuff. Like, sorry, I'm not gonna soak my beans, man. I'm just gonna get a can. Phytates, rinse your beans and you're not gonna fart as much. You're gonna wash most of the phytates out of the beans. Just wash them, okay? Just rinse them. So look at this variety, like it's crazy. So you can bring them with you in jars. You can put them on salads and soups, and they're affordable, sustainable. I mean, I'll send this to y'all. Really good resource. So Tyler, in response to quick meals with a lot of fiber, canned beans, peas, things like that, go to a Mexican store. They will have a lot more than like a Food Lion or something like a Harris Teeter. If you don't like fresh vegetables, then you can get like bags of frozen vegetables and just throw them in your microwave, throw them on a baking sheet. So it's still cooking, right? But it's a lot faster because they're usually pre-chopped, pre-washed, and you can throw them on with your favorite source of protein, be that chicken or tofu or whatever. Does that work?
Yeah,
Great.
that also works.
Awesome.
There should be like, I also feel like if you spend a little bit of time, you end up coming up with so many options that you didn't even think that they existed before, but it does make a lot of sense in a lot of ways.
Yeah, people are gonna look at you funny if you eat beans out of the can, but
That's
if you have fitness goals, if you have bodybuilding goals, you probably don't care at this point because people already think you're weird.
And I can vouch for it. Yep, that's true. All my friends are in awe in terms of what I do, and they all think that I'm crazy for doing that. But jokes on them because it actually is fun.
I was gonna say too, I don't know if any of you have an Instapot, but that is super helpful for, and super cheap. You can get a bag of dried beans, legumes, whatever, and throw them in there not soaked and cook them in the Instapot. And like one little bag of black eyed peas or whatever kind of beans you like, it makes a huge batch. And you can season them with all kinds of stuff and eat them for the week.
If you have any recipes for an Instapot, Lisa, I would love to share one.
Okay, I'll look. I know I've been doing black eyed peas that way. I'll have to look and see. Sometimes I'm bad about throwing stuff in and then not knowing what I put in there. But I'll look and see if I've got something written down.
Nice. Also, I'll show you one more thing. About to post my lunch on IG, and Josh, your question about portable things with protein and fiber. So that's what I made yesterday. This is my signature seitan. You can find the recipe on the blog. This has, I think I got turnips or something and just cut off the ends. So whatever the ends I have from radishes, turnips, you know, the greens that you don't like eat really, you eat the root. I would just freeze them. I would just chop them up and freeze them. And then whenever I'm ready to make seitan, I would throw them in a food processor and add them to my dough. So if you look at this little guy, it's green on the inside because there's probably 2 cups of greens fully packed with all the nutrients from the greens, right? Because I didn't want to eat them and I didn't want to waste them. So I can just throw them into my batter. So whenever you cook vegan proteins, I think Tyler has pointed this out to me because I've shared so many recipes with him and he was like, how are vegan protein recipes so versatile? Well, because they are, right? With chicken, you can have, you know, your chicken, your protein with a little bit of fat. Great. But then you have to add your fiber, add your greens, add other stuff. This, I can literally take this with me. This is a complete meal that has everything cooked into it. I can put it in Ziploc. It doesn't need a fridge for a day or two. There you go.
If I may add, another thing about vegan protein is that it has a lot of good fiber amount. That I actually realized recently. And if I run out of the protein that I'm having, pretty sure I'll switch into vegan protein and see what happens, which will help me with my fiber content and fiber intake. So that's good to be good. So that's a good thing.
Cool. A lot of good info. I hope we didn't overwhelm you, Josh and Angela. You guys are being a little quiet.
Not at all. This is all good info.
Awesome, awesome. Any more questions, y'all? I know Lisa was asking for some more protein packed recipes that are lower on fats and carbs. Do you have any like breakfast, lunch, dinner ideas that we can come up with, or anything else? Do you have anything to share instead?
Oh, if this could help, sometimes when I don't feel like cooking, but when I eat enough fiber content, I'm Asian, so I follow my Asian roots, and sometimes I make like noodles or ramen or udon or anything like that, and I just literally throw in tofu and just veggies, and that pretty much gives me enough fiber amount as well, and it's so convenient, and it's like the ways that I do when I don't feel like spending too much time cooking, or when I'm like trying to fix something for 20 minutes during the lunchtime, if I work at home, that is, and have enough protein and veggies while limiting fat content. That's when I usually go with, okay, I'm gonna have like a bowl of noodles with all kinds of stuff inside, and that really helps a lot. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I can give for now.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right, we got a couple of minutes, you guys. What else would be useful, or other ideas for next week or the following weeks?
Yeah, so next week I think we were gonna do some mobility stuff. If that was still, I think that's what we're doing next week. So talking about certain stretching and stuff that you guys can do. Cage will be helping, so a guest speaker.
Awesome.
Coach, it's been forever since I've seen Cage. I'm sad I won't be able to do this. Probably that I'll be on vacation.
Yeah, you can watch the video after.
I will still watch the video after. Yeah, so if you guys have anything for the weeks after that, next week I will send, or Angel will send into the group the Zoom that will be different from today, because it will be her Zoom and she's coming on with her coach Cage. They train together and they do mobility together. And Cage, I think he went to the Nationals. What year did he go to the Nationals for powerlifting?
2016. Yeah, he like the junior nationals, USAPL.
Yeah, he's crazy strong. He has crazy good mobility for a strong guy, which we all could learn from. So that's super exciting. Thank you for asking him.
Yeah, we're excited. He's excited too.
Nice, awesome. Cool. Well, then I think that's a wrap. I will stop calling people out and asking for things to share, because y'all have shared enough. And we can talk more in the group if y'all have anything else. And I will share the recording on YouTube. Feel free to rewatch or let your friend know to rewatch. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Katya.
Bye. I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.